What is going on YouTube? It is Nevin the Barber, and in today's video we are going to be covering a high taper tutorial. So to get right into the video today, I'm going to begin this haircut with the number 4 guard on top, just ensuring that everything is at the same length. And to begin our first step in this haircut, I will be starting with my gamma trimmers, putting in my first guideline at my point of reference, meeting it not too high, keeping it right beneath his ear. And I'll begin balding it all out. I do highly recommend these trimmers. If you guys would like to get them, you can go to the Gamma website. I'll be sure to include their link in the description. And after we have our first guideline established, I'll go over that guideline with my Bronze Series 9 shavers. I do highly recommend these shavers. They're very good for, of course, balding out, but balding hair out at a long length. These shavers can bald up hair all the way up to a 1.5 guard. So for the second step in this haircut, I have my babyless clippers with the lever all the way open. And we're going to begin taking out that line. There is 5 notches to this lever. So as you guys can see, I'm closing the notches, shortening my cutting stroke each time I close the lever. And I do have these clippers 0 gap, so I was able to knock out that first line pretty easy. Right here I have my number 1 guard with the lever all the way open. And to fade out that line we just put in, I put on my half guard on my Wahl seniors, blending the 0.5 into the 1.5, and this is where the majority of the fade is going to be at. So after we've blended all that out, just putting in a few more details, doing some lever play right here. As you guys can see, the 0.5 is now faded into the 1.5. So now we just have to blend into the bulk of our hair. Right here I have my number 3 guard on with the lever all the way open. When I use the number 3 and the number 2 guard, I just go lever open and then all the way closed. My number 2 guard on, cornering out some dark spots I see. And whenever I'm fading, I personally just like to use the corner of my blade. What this does is it disperses the hair and slices it a little more effectively than if you were to use the entire blade on the scalp. Here, just cleaning up my fade with the number 1 guard. Just running through my guards, going from the 3 to the 2. Right now I'm on the 1. Finalizing this taper. And if you guys do these steps, you can do it for a mid-bald fade, low taper, high taper, burst fade. As long as you guys are using this method right here, your fade should come out clean and blurry. So now I have my gamma trimmers with my modified P3 blade on them, putting in my first arching point above his ear. Again, when doing this, you want to keep it as natural as you can. You don't want to push someone's hairline back on the front or in the back. So just tapping that line. When I do my taper haircuts, I think it's a little bit easier to line up the back first before you fade into it, but that's just my personal opinion. And this modified P3 blade is definitely worth it. If you guys would like to buy this blade, you can go to eversince.com. And for anyone looking to buy the gamma trimmers, you can use my code NEVIN10 and save some money on them. I'll be sure to leave their link in the description as well. And whenever I'm doing this step, you guys can see I'm just pulling away from the hair. And to begin on the other side, we're going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to put my first step starting at the point of reference, marking it not above his ear but right beneath it. Again with the lever all the way open. This is going to be cutting the hair down to a 0.5. And to blend out our skin line into the 0.5, we're just going to be doing some lever play, closing the clipper as we need to. And now to take out our final line, I have the half guard on my Wahl seniors, doing some lever play as well, opening and closing the lever wherever I see dark spots. And as y'all can see, the taper is pretty much complete. I'm just running over my babyless clippers, detailing any dark spots I see. I always like to go back down the guards and through my lever system whenever I fade, just to ensure that I get all the dark spots out that I see. Here, just attacking my bottom skin line with my Bronze Series 9 shavers. And we're going to begin to, same thing, outline our client behind his ear. And whenever you guys do this, of course, you want to keep it as natural as possible. whenever I do my lineups front and back, I always like to make sure that I pull away from the skin or the hairline. So you guys can see I'm tapping and just pulling away. So on the back, it's very important to see how your client's hair grows out. My client didn't have any cowlicks on the back of his hairline. You just have to analyze your client's hairline to see where you need to put your first line in. And just so you know how your fade is going to come out, you have to ensure that your bottom line is placed correctly. So as you guys can see, I didn't bring it too high. I kept my first bald line pretty low, balding it out with my Bronze Series 9 shaver. And then we're going to begin with our first step again with the lever all the way open on the Babyliss clippers. We're going to take this step about an inch above our skin line. And right here, just going down the lever system on the Babyliss clippers, it has 5 notches on it. So as you guys can see, with every notch that I go down, I just shorten my cutting stroke. The more closed you have your clipper, the shorter the cut is going to be. So it's just important to master your cutting stroke as you close the clipper. And for our next guideline, I have my number 1 guard all the way open. And to remove that guideline, I'm going straight into my half guard with the lever all the way open. So this is cutting at a short 1 right here. It's not going to blend out the line completely, but it's just going to slowly start to disperse it out. When you guys close the clipper and start to learn your lever place system, you'll learn how to fade out these lines more effectively. I'm doing this method, I'm just using the corner of my clipper, analyzing how the hair is coming out of the scalp. I'm not taking this clipper anywhere above my guideline because that's just going to defeat the purpose of my 1.5. So once I have all of this blended out, that's pretty much going to complete my taper. I'm just going to have to blend my taper into the bulk of my client's hair. I have my number 2 guard right here with the lever all the way open, attacking my line, staying beneath his occipital bone. As you guys can see, it's starting to fade out. Right here, I went back to my number 1 guard with the lever all the way open, blending my 1.5 into the 2. And after this step, your taper is going to be pretty much complete. You're just going to have to go back, put in a few details, analyze your work again. Right here, I have my half guard on. Again, just going down my guards. I started with the 2, went down to the 1, and now I'm at the half guard. And as you guys can see, my taper is slowly but surely starting to look finished up. And now that we have the sides and the back tapered out, we're going to begin with our hairline. So I'll begin applying some spritz hairspray. What this is it's going to hold the hair in place, so when you line it up, it's going to look very crispy and none of the hair will move when it's being lined up. So whenever you're doing a lineup, I personally like to start the lineup in the middle of my client's head. I do this just so I can make sure I can establish a straight line left to right. Once I have that done, I'll begin hitting my box and my hooks. In this case, my client asked for a high taper, so we'll only be doing his box. So once I have my first line put in, I'll then begin boxing out the corners. Whenever doing a box, you want to try to shoot for a 90-degree angle. And when I'm doing it, I'm just pulling away, using the corner of my clipper, pulling away from the direction of the hair. Same thing on my box, tapping and pulling away from the hairline. Whenever you're doing a lineup, you always want to envision the lineup before you attack it, so you know exactly where you're going to put that line. And now to begin our razor lineup, I'll begin attacking my lineup against the grain of the hair. What this is going to do is leave the hairline looking sharp as possible, because whenever a razor goes against the hair grain, it'll cut it much shorter than when the razor is going with the hair grain. And I do see a lot of barbers line people up with the grain of the hair with the razor, and it's not bad to do that. However, if you hit the hairline against the grain of the haircut will last much longer. So whenever lining up your client, just lean them back, hit their hairline against the grain, and you guys will be able to notice a much bigger difference than hitting it with the grain of the hair. And now to finish off this taper, we're just going to be putting a few more details. I have my half guard right here on my Wahl seniors. And here, just hitting his line up one more time with my gamma hitters. If you guys want to buy these hitters, you can use my code Nevin10. I'll be sure to leave their link in the description. These are my personal favorite trimmers right now. I've tried quite a few of them, but I do love the gammas. Line behind his ear, just tapping that hairline, pulling against his hair. You don't want to do it too hard, especially if your trimmers are gapped. Just be very careful when doing this. And it's always important to go back and double check your work, whether it be a taper, a fade, any kind of cut. You just want to ensure that all the hairs are laying in the right position and your lines are sharp as possible. Here I'm just flicking out, attacking my bottom skin line. The 0 to the 1 is the most important part of the fade, so you guys want to make sure that that is the most blurry part of the haircut. So I'm going back, just detailing my work. One of the biggest ways to ensure that your fade comes out as clean as possible is to always just go back, double check your lines, make sure everything is blended. And that's about it for today's tutorial. Here I'm just dusting off my client. Again, here it's always important to double check your work, make sure you didn't miss any hairs or see anything sticking out. There you guys have it, there's a high taper. If you guys learned anything from this video, be sure to leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Nevin the Barber, and let me know what you guys would like to see next. I'm out.